This is Kyoto. And this is Kyoto. This is also Kyoto. And yes, this is Kyoto. Hi there. Today we're talking about Kyoto and its perplexing transportation system. Now, unless you really enjoy queuing up at the information counter, it really wouldn't hurt to go through this video before you get here, so you can spend more time doing what you like, instead of struggling to make sense of the madness. So do your shoulders a favor and pack light for the day, and let's get into it. Kyoto is laid out like this. These are the main rivers. These are the main street names. You'll probably hear the locals referencing them. As you can see, the city is roughly laid out on a grid, which is supposed to make navigation easier. For scale, this is roughly a 15 to 20 minute walk. The mountains are here. The lake is here. Kobe and Osaka cities are to the west, and Nara city is to the south. Kyoto Station is arguably the transport hub for Kyoto City. Because Kyoto has no airport, most international travelers will be landing somewhere else and making a train connection to Kyoto City. Kyoto Station also hosts the most number of options for traveling within the city. Let's start with your train options. Let's say you are coming in from Nagoya or Tokyo, so you would probably be using the bullet train. And if you are coming in from Kobe or Osaka, you might be using the JR main line. From there, these sites are only a 15-minute walk away. This is the JR Sagano line, which runs through the west of Kyoto. Along this line, you have access to these sites. This JR line connects to Nara, which gives you access to these sites. A nice thing about making JR connections is that you won't need to exit the ticket gates every time you change trains. This is another train to Nara operated by Kintetsu. Depending on your starting point, this may be the faster, cheaper option for you. This line gives you access to this site. This is the subway system, which runs north to south and east to west, and gives you access to many of the sites downtown. An often confusing aspect of Kyoto is that there are several train lines that don't run through Kyoto Station. One of the most notable is Keihan Railways, which instead connects to Osaka and Nara and runs through some of Kyoto's most popular sites. Another train operator that does not run through Kyoto Station is Hankyu Railways. This network is known by locals to run at a slower pace. So if you're coming in from Osaka and would prefer to take your time, this might be the option for you. This train line gives you access to these sites. Finally, we have the super local railways, one of which is Randen, which provides access to these sites. And we have Eizan Railways, which provides access to these sites. So, when we lay out the railways, it looks something like this. With these transport hubs, these are stations that house multiple rail lines. If you ask me, this is not super efficient. After all, there are some train lines that are not connected. Which brings us to our second category of unofficial transfer hubs. These are places in which two different stations from two different operators are located within close proximity of each other, often within a 5-minute walk. Using this information, our train map now looks like this. You say, couldn't we just skip all that and use the bus instead? Well, indeed you could. Kyoto is absolutely jam-packed with buses. There are bus stops every few dozen yards in some places, making it convenient for those who just can't walk any further. But with anything transport related in Kyoto, it's a mixed bag. Take all the problems with the train system and multiply by 10, that even the locals find it a challenge. The problem is not finding a bus to and from Kyoto Station. After all, there's a friendly information desk there just to help you get on the right bus. It's navigating from one site to another. Here are just some of the challenges with navigating the system. Inconsistent schedules and routes, lack of English signs and directions, multiple directions for a route, multiple routes per bus stop, multiple stops per single route, multiple routes per destination, traffic jams and delays, multiple and similar operators. Well, you get it. It's complicated. Aha, you say, I have a secret weapon. It's the almighty smartphone. Well, yes, to a degree. But the problem is that many mapping applications will direct you to the transportation system, which in Kyoto's case is often fragmented, which means that you will often be spending more time navigating the transportation system than if you just walked in the first place. So for the sake of everyone's sanity, we will be sticking to mostly just one bus operator, and that is the Kyoto City Bus, with just one exception. And by the way, these famous sites are only accessible by bus. Which brings us to the question, how did the locals do it? Many of the locals divide the city up into walkable areas. So for example, around Kyoto Station, these sites would be walkable. And this is how to get there. What about the South Higashiyama area? Well, you could spend a day at these two sites. Here's the directions. If you got to the Higashiyama area, you have access to all these. Here's how to get there. Here's the North Higashiyama area, which includes all this, and here's how to get there. This area is out of the way, so we'll put the sites together. And the only way to get to one of them is by using the Kyoto bus. Please note, it's not the Kyoto City Bus, but the Kyoto bus. See? Confusing, right? This is the Gosho Nijo area, which is quite centrally located, and includes these. And here's how to get there. And this is the Kinkakuji area, which as its name suggests, includes Kinkakuji. And here's how to get there. And finally, we have the Arashiyama Sagano area, which includes all of these. This area is very popular and you have the most options to get there. Now in this video we didn't include every single tourist site, but we did include most of the World Heritage sites, which would take around 5 days to see properly. And by the way, if you're looking for something to eat, the Sanjo, Gion, Nishiki Market and Kyoto areas are likely your best bet. And last traveler tip, to avoid having to buy tickets all day, we highly advise that you buy an all-in-one day pass and an IC ticket card. It just makes your day easier.